Welcome to the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling Virtual College Fair. Thank you for joining. Announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of many different sessions happening, so please be sure to sign up for more. The presentation is being recorded and will be available within about a week at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. And now I'd like to turn it over to our presenters. And first up will be Arcadia University.
Well, hello, everyone. My name is McGill Mitchell. I'm one of the admissions counselors here at Arcadia University, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about our lovely campus. So as you can see on the screen is our beautiful Gray Towers Castle that was nominated for the top 10 prettiest castles by Martha Stewart herself. So definitely come and check it out if you have a chance. And just a little bit about who we are here at Arcadia. So we're a small private institution right outside of Philadelphia. So you get the best of both worlds with us being only about 5 minutes over the Philadelphia border, about 25 to 30 minutes from downtown. You get to learn in a suburban area and have access to a major metropolitan city on the East Coast. We have a little over 2,100 graduate students, which means your class sizes are traditionally smaller. The largest class size you'll see with us is about 27 to 28, but that's typically your freshman first year seminar or your Bio 101, but typically your classes will be about 14 to 16 students. And we have a little bit of everything for everybody here at Arcadia with over 65 fields of study, everything between sociology to biology to pre-law and forensic science. We have it all, and some really top ranked physical therapy, physician's assistant, and forensic science graduate programs as well. So a little bit about us, we have 26 Division III teams, and we just added esports, ice hockey, and track and field, and we are always actively recruiting for all of our teams on campus. One of the great things about being Arcadia is that we're small, but we pack a big punch with over 60 clubs and organizations for students to get involved in. You could do anything from our Poor Remo, our Latin dance club, or our Future Business Leaders of America, or be a part of our Ultimate Frisbee team. The options go on and on. And for those of you that are coming from a little bit further away in the state, one of our favorite features here is that we have guaranteed housing for all 4 years for our students. So with 2021, 2022 ramping up. It's time to talk about our study abroad again. We have been shut down for the pandemic, but what's super great is we are sending students out spring 2022. And here at Arcadia, we are top ranked for our study abroad. So you have options from going as short as a week, as long as a full year. You can do internships like work with Parliament in London, or work with a reality TV show in Australia. Depending on what your major is, we have lots of opportunities for each and all of our students at Arcadia. And all of your institutional financial aid and scholarships does travel abroad with you as well. So these are just a few of our Arcadia specific programs that are reviewed for in our admissions process. And the two I like to point out is our first year study abroad and our second year study abroad. So for those of you who are ready to hit the ground running to go out into the world, you can spend spring of your freshman year in London at our London Center learning and going abroad and having a great time. So I always like to point that out. And just a little bit about our application process and what to expect. We are test optional indefinitely. So SAT or ACT scores are totally optional. So really all you need to send to us is one letter of recommendation, your high school transcript, and a complete application, either through Common App or a general Arcadia application. Students who do opt into not taking the SAT or ACT will have to submit a supplemental piece, like a video or an essay, or do a peer-to-peer interview. The option is up to you. And for those of you interested in our performing and studio arts, we do have musical theater and acting, as well as a whole slew of art programs that do require a separate portfolio or acting audition along with that. Our application opens up August 1, and we are on rolling admissions, and we'll be accepting applications throughout the year. So hopefully I see a few of your names in the application pool this year. And if you have a chance, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and Snapchat to get some of the best updates here at Arcadia. And if you have any questions, always just visit us here at Arcadia edu, and I'll drop my contact information in the chat. Thank you so much.
Excellent. Thanks very much. And next up is the University of Vermont.
Hi, everybody. My name is Candace Duckworth. I am the Regional Associate Director of Admissions for the University of Vermont. I actually live here in Pennsylvania myself. I'm in the eastern side of the state, but I work with all the students throughout the Great Commonwealth. So I'm happy to be your resource throughout your entire college search process. So we'll get started here with just some quick facts about UVM. You can see here both kind of the size and the breadth of our programs. We are a medium-sized university, so we have just over 10,000 undergraduate students, but you might notice that the ratio of our in-state to out-of-state students is a little unusual, especially for a state school. Vermont's a small state with a smaller population, so majority of our students do come from out of state, both across the country and across the world. We do offer more than 100 different majors, and we have more than 40 different accelerated master's degree programs as well. So kind of your academic home will be within one of our 7 schools and colleges. And we also have an honors college that would be in addition for students who are interested. Some of our more distinctive qualities can always appear a little contradictory on the surface. I too always say that UVM has the best of both worlds. That's the best way that I describe it. So I think this slide kind of sums that up for me. We're old. We were founded in 1791, but we're also constantly renewing our programs and our facilities to kind of keep up with the ever-changing world around us. And then being that medium-sized rate is both big and small. So 10,000 is big compared to liberal arts colleges, but it's definitely smaller compared to many other national research universities. So you get kind of that small school feel, but you have the access to opportunities at like a large school. And then our location, we're in Burlington, Vermont. It is beautiful all year round. We definitely get all 4 seasons. Being right in the city gives you kind of that urban feel, but I always say that it kind of feels like a big, small town. The city has really great food, music, lots of arts, great business and technology opportunities for students. Then you also have nature all around us with the Lake Champlain, the Green Mountains, the Adirondack Mountains, and the little cosmopolitan if you want to go travel internationally. Montreal's not too far away either. All right, putting knowledge to work and learning by doing is definitely another hallmark of a UVM education. We have 92% of our students who do some sort of experiential learning while they're with us. So that includes, but it's definitely not limited to internships, which is what we always think about, but also research, service learning, study abroad. We have some specialized facilities that help kind of facilitate this, including our new STEM complex that has state-of-the-art teaching and research laboratories. We have the University of Vermont Medical Center, which is a level 1 trauma center right on campus. Then we also have research facilities at farms and in nature all across the state. The residential experience is definitely a big part of a UVM education as well. You know, and your college as a whole, it's maybe the first time that you're living away from home, can be an interesting transition. So we've put a lot of thought into our residential life, and we have all of our students organized into different learning communities. So you can see the topics that are listed there. You actually get to preference on your housing application which that you're interested in. And this year, everyone got within their top 3 choices. So it's always nice to know that you're going to be coming to UVM, learning and living with other students who have a similar interest to you. And it starts to help you build your community when you're at college. Our UVM community is also dedicated to supporting and celebrating the unique identities of students, faculty, and staff members. One of the most important things that we share within our community is our commitment to promoting respect, integrity, innovation, openness, justice, and responsibility. We call this our common ground. So when new students arrive on campus, he's going to pledge to these values at a candlelight ceremony on the university green. It's kind of the picture that you can see in the middle there. And that's one of our favorite traditions on campus. Our community also deeply values diversity, equity, and inclusion throughout all aspects of campus life. We have 4 different identity centers, which are really great active spaces for students to gather and engage and explore what those identities might mean to them. And you can also see our general education requirements reflect these values as well. UVM would not be the same without Burlington, and Burlington would not be the same without UVM. Like I said, it's a really great city, definitely a college town because there are other colleges in the area. So the energy of the campus kind of feeds the town, and the town gives back to our students with great internships, that music scene, amazing restaurants, coffee houses, and you also have those recreational opportunities with trails and parks and beaches. It's also really accessible to get to and from Burlington. There is an airport just a few miles from campus. So kind of to sum up, UVM is a great mix of a fully equipped land-grant university that's both old and new and big and small, right? Our students come together, they ultimately do have to leave and go off and graduate and go off into the world. As you can see here, based on these statistics, our students go on to find great success, however it is that you define that success. So that could be employment, it could be graduate school, really wherever your goals lead you. So seeing yourself at UVM is definitely the first step. We want you to continue to interact with us, and I'm here to be your resource, like I said, for anything that you need throughout your college search. Definitely encourage you to go on our website and explore more. For the application, we are on the Common application and the Coalition application. We do offer early action, which has a November 1st deadline, as well as regular decision, which has a January 15th deadline. We will be test optional for at least fall of 2022 and fall of 2023. So it's really up to you if you want to submit test scores. If you think they're going to contribute to your application, then by all means do so, but don't stress if you're not able to take the test with kind of everything going on right now. We also automatically consider all students for merit scholarships, as well as an invitation to join our honors college. So we kind of try to streamline that process for you. We are open now for some limited tours, which is really exciting, and we're going to continue to open up for more and more throughout the summer as restrictions allow us to. So definitely keep an eye on our website. And like I said, I'm here as your resource. I'll put my contact information in the chat, and I'm really glad that you guys came to chat with us today. Thanks.
Great, thank you so much. Next up is the University of Mary Washington.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Sarah Lindberg. I'm the Associate Director of Admissions at the University of Mary Washington. I am excited to be sharing a little bit more about our institution with you today. First off, the University of Mary Washington is a public liberal arts and sciences university located in Fredericksburg, Virginia. So we think we have the ideal location. We have a nice suburban campus that's very much like a park when you come and visit, with lots of green spaces and benches, and you can't drive through it. But we're 50 miles south of our nation's capital and 50 miles north of the Commonwealth's capital, Richmond, Virginia. So we're right off that I-95 corridor. We are close to the water, about a mile from the Rappahannock River. We're close to the mountains. We're close to the beach. So you get a little bit of everything at Mary Washington, a prime location in the Fredericksburg area. We are a small school. We have about 4,200 undergraduate students at Mary Washington, primarily coming from the Commonwealth of Virginia, but then the Northeast. So Maryland, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, those are where our largest out-of-state student populations come from. But we do have students that come from across the country and around the globe as well. We'll have students representing about 14 different countries in the freshman class this coming year, which is pretty awesome. Inside the classroom, what can you expect? Our average class size is about 19. Oh, my slides flipped a little forward for me. I was getting a little too eager there. Hold on. There we go. Our average class size is 19. Our student to faculty ratio is 13:1. We offer over 60 different majors, minors, and programs that students can choose from. The most popular programs you'll find at Mary Washington are business administration, biology, psychology, communication and digital studies, and computer science. We were established as a school to teach teachers. So education is truly at our heart in educating those future educators. So you will find programs for elementary ed, and secondary ed, and special ed at Mary Washington as well. We also boast the nation's #1 historic preservation program at the undergraduate level. It is also the nation's first independent department for historic preservation. And it includes a lot of different areas, and personally my favorite, as I am a graduate of that program at Mary Washington. Being a smaller institution, we can reserve our research opportunities for our undergraduate students. So it's common for students to start their research as early as the second semester of their freshman year, or maybe even in their sophomore year. You can participate in our Summer Science Institute, and research happens across the board, not just in the natural sciences, but in all areas at Mary Washington. You will build relationships with your faculty members at UMW. They really truly are there to challenge you, but also support you to make sure you're getting the most out of your Mary Washington education. You want to have some fun outside of the classroom. So you will find that we have over 150 clubs and organizations to get involved in. So lots of activities for you to do. You will also see that we are Division III for our varsity athletics. We are part of the newly formed Coast to Coast Conference. We have 21 varsity sports teams, as well as men's and women's rugby that aren't varsity sports, but they're extremely popular club sports that fall under the varsity umbrella that compete at the varsity level, and they are extremely competitive. So if you have the idea of potentially being a rugby player and you haven't played rugby before, you can still try out because it's a club team. But if you have experience, you could participate in one of the national championships that they go to. Both the men's and women's team have been national champions within the last 5 years or so. So lots of opportunities outside the classroom. We also say that we have one of the nation's funnest or most fun college presidents. You see him up there in the upper right-hand corner. That is President Pano, and he is participating in the Big Slide event that you will see at the University of Mary Washington every Labor Day weekend. So we're excited to welcome the Big Slide back to the Fredericksburg area in our post-COVID world, where it is a giant water slide that goes down the hill right by our Alumni Center, where you will see student volunteers, but also students enjoying the event, but also getting out with the Fredericksburg community as well. A number of our students will study abroad in their time at the University of Mary Washington. So we do offer 157 programs in 54 different foreign countries. We are excited to open study abroad up again in spring of 22. Currently, we are working one-on-one with students that would individually like to go for fall of 21 on a case-by-case basis. So again, that personalized attention that you can find at Mary Washington. So what can you expect in the application process? We offer early decision, early action, and regular decision. So all the different types of filing dates you can think of. We are a completely test choice school. So while you see our average admitted student profile for both SAT and ACT up there, please don't let that worry you. The vast majority of our students do go test optional. We have been test optional for about 6 years. So it's something that we're very familiar with. We do a holistic review in the application process. We do encourage all of our applicants to interview with the Taking Flight Scholarship, which is an interview scholarship. And by spending 15 to 20 minutes of your time, you'll be awarded a scholarship for your freshman year. That's in addition to any merit-based scholarships that you may qualify for as well. So we definitely want you to go ahead and take a look at those different opportunities. You will see that we do have a separate honors program. It is a 4-year interdisciplinary honors program, and the admitted student profile is there for you as well. We are a common application school, and we have our own Mary Washington application as well. You can choose either or. There is no preference on our part when you are going through the application process. Lastly, some contact information for us. We want you to follow us on social medias, and I've got one more to add that I'll throw into the chat. At the University of Mary Washington admissions team, we have our own Instagram now, so you can follow us there, but you'll see some contact information coming your way. Thanks, guys.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And next up is Michigan State University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Dawn Marie Walker. I am a regional counselor for Michigan State. I live here in Pittsburgh, and I work with all students in the state of Pennsylvania who are interested in Michigan State. We are located in East Lansing, Michigan. Lansing is the capital. So we're very close to all things politics and government that are happening in Michigan. So if that's what you intend to study, this is a great place to do it. East Lansing is very much a college town with lots to do: restaurants, art galleries, coffee shops, shopping malls, bowling alleys, movie theaters, and they're all just footsteps away from campus. So if you want to go off campus with some friends, you can see the picture in the upper right. Those are our buildings directly across the street, and beautiful downtown East Lansing is just right across the street. Our campus itself is one of the largest in the country at over 5,000 acres. And it's a traditional campus with a border around it and only our buildings on campus. Lots of beautiful green spaces, grass and trees. The picture in the upper left is Spartan Stadium, and that sits right in the middle of our campus. So no matter where you live at Michigan State, you're just footsteps away from a football game. We do have about 50,000 students on campus, so one of the largest universities in the country in population as well as size, but about 40,000 of those are undergraduates. So we're primarily an undergraduate focused institution. We have over 200 areas of study. So pretty much anything you could possibly want to major in, we probably offer. Some of our highest ranking majors include majors within the College of Business, like hospitality management and supply chain management, which has been ranked #1 in the United States for the last several years. Our College of Engineering has some of the highest ranked research opportunities in the country. Our pre-professional programs like pre-law, pre-vet, and pre-med are some of the highest ranked and most popular programs as well. All of our majors lie within 17 different degree granting colleges, 3 of which are residential colleges. These living learning communities were designed to give a student the opportunity to make their world a little smaller on our campus. So if you love the idea of attending a large Big Ten Division I university, but maybe you like a little bit smaller of a community, smaller classes, one of our residential colleges might be a really good fit for you. Some of the things that bring students to Michigan State include entrepreneurship. We have an amazing entrepreneurship and innovation minor available to any student on campus, no matter what you're studying, and some fantastic spaces for entrepreneurs available to any students on campus. We are an R1 research institution, so you can find research no matter what your major and no matter what year you're studying at Michigan State. We have one of the best education abroad programs in the country, traveling to over 60 different countries, all 7 continents, and we have almost 300 different programs. And these trips will resume again next spring. We have over 900 student clubs and organizations. So pretty much anything you could want to do outside of the classroom, you can probably find at Michigan State. This includes Greek life, academic clubs, community service, intramural club sports. We have some amazing support clubs and organizations for our very diverse population as well. And if there's a club or organization that you wish to be a part of that you can't find, it's really easy to start those on our campus as well. So when you're applying to Michigan State, you can apply through the Common App, the Coalition app, or directly through our website. And what we'll be looking at are the following criteria: your transcripts, so the grades that you've gotten from grades 9 to 11, the strength of your curriculum in those grades, and your senior year as well. We do like to see AP, IB, honors, and dual enrollment courses. We do require the essay, but we don't require letters of recommendation. So you don't have to send those in, but if you want to, you can, and we'll take them into consideration. And if looking at the fall of 2019 freshman profile, you can see the average incoming GPA for a Michigan State student is between a 3.5 and a 4.0. And we are now a test optional school for at least the next 4 years. So if you've not had the chance to take the SAT or ACT, or you're simply not happy with your score, you don't think it reflects who you are as a student, you absolutely do not have to submit them. And that will not hurt your chances of being admitted to Michigan State or for scholarship consideration. But if you do wish to send in your scores, you can see the average composite ACT is a 23 to a 29, and SAT is an 1130 to a 1310. Here's our timeline schedule. Our early action period goes from August 1st to November 1st. It's really important that you apply by November 1st if you wish to be considered for scholarships, for honors college consideration. There's no separate application for either of those. You don't have to apply separately for scholarships or to be considered for the honors college. You simply have to apply by November 1st. And if you do that, you're guaranteed to hear your admissions decision by January 15th. And you need to accept your offer of admissions by May 1st. And you can also see our regular and rolling admission deadlines here, but don't even look at those. Apply by November 1st. And since you live in the beautiful state of Pennsylvania, you are guaranteed to receive the Pennsylvania Spartan Grant for no other reason than the fact that you live in Pennsylvania. This is not something that you have to apply for. You will automatically receive at least $10,000 of scholarship money, and you can then earn additional merit scholarship on top of that based on the strength of your academics that you've supplied with your application. So again, no separate application. You've just got to apply by November 1st. And this is me, Dawn Marie Walker. I'm the manager again of Pennsylvania Recruitment. There's my contact information. And we are now offering on-campus tours. So if you wish to come see our campus this summer or this fall, reach out to me and I can fix you up. Thanks.
Excellent. Thank you very much. And next up is East Stroudsburg University.
Okay, great. So my name is Maureen. I'm one of the assistant directors of admission and orientation at East Stroudsburg University. So I will go over some basic information about East Stroudsburg and we can go from there. So we are right in the Pocono Mountains. We're about an hour and a half from New York City and about 2 hours from Philadelphia. So in terms of location, we do have one of the better spots in the Pennsylvania system. Enrollment is about 6,000 students. So being that we are a Pennsylvania state school, we do get the majority of our students from the state of Pennsylvania, but we have students from literally all over the country as well as all over the world. 58 degree programs. We have 21 master programs, doctorate degrees as well. Our most popular degrees are probably exercise science, sports management, psychology. We also have supply chain management, nursing, and education. So we have 200 plus study abroad programs. Like I said, our location, we're right nicely located between New York City and Philadelphia. Our on-campus living, so there's 3 different types of housing that students can live in. So they can live in an apartment style, a traditional style dorm, or a suite style. About half of our student population does still live on campus. The other half pretty much lives throughout town. We are definitely a college town. We only ask that students live on campus for their first year, and then sophomore year on, they have the option to move off campus. We also have living learning communities. So if you are in a major that you want to be around other people within that same major, we have certain wings of our suites in our traditional style dorms that are dedicated to different majors. This is a very popular option among nursing students, for example, who kind of want to be around other people who are going to be cramming for their finals and studying just as much as they are. We have 24-hour computer labs in all of our dorm buildings as well as our suites. We have 110 different clubs and organizations. We have 15 different sororities and fraternities. And we have 22 Division II sports. So we have everything from women's wrestling to tumbling and acrobatics. We have 68 PACAC championships under our belt as well. So we're a big sports school overall. We also have 48,000 alumni, 800 different internship agreements. We have been around for 126 years. So we definitely have a lot of affiliations throughout the New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania territories. In terms of cost, we are one of the most affordable in the state system. 84% of our students do receive some sort of financial aid. Some hot deadlines to keep in mind is October 1st is when the FAFSA opens up. So I always encourage students to go ahead and fill out their FAFSA on October 1st. By February 1st of your senior year is where you definitely want to make sure your FAFSA is in. We offer everything from federal to state grants as well as merit. In-state students can see anywhere from $500 to full tuition as their merit awards. We also have a thing called a Warrior Promise, which is a tuition freeze. So when students come in as a freshman, we freeze their tuition rate for 8 semesters. This is just another incentive, another scholarship program that every student is eligible for, no matter if you're an in-state or out-of-state student. We go ahead, we freeze that tuition rate for you. This also allows parents as well as students to calculate exactly how much a degree is going to cost. So our application process, we are SAT optional as well. We don't need essays or letters of recommendation. Simply all you need is just your transcript and to apply directly on our website. After you do apply, you should receive an answer from us between 7 and 10 business days. Our application for the fall 2022 school year is already online. So juniors going into their senior year can go ahead and get that application already started. After you decide where you want to go, whether it's East Stroudsburg or another school, let all those schools know so that they can go ahead and update their records. And then you'll submit an enrollment fee to confirm your spot in the classroom. This is just going to give you extra perks that other students don't get if you enroll a little bit earlier, such as ranking your housing as looking at orientation dates as well. Best way to keep up to date about what we're doing in admissions is to follow our Instagram page. So we post everything that's admissions related. So open house dates, where we're going to be traveling this summer, high school visits, anything along those lines. And that's it. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. So now we have a little bit of time for some Q&A before we wrap up this session. So I'd invite all of our presenters to come back on camera and respond to this question. What advice would you give someone going through the college search process? And I'll ask that our presenters respond in the same order that they presented. So we'll start with Arcadia.
My biggest advice for anybody going into the college search process is to get organized. It's so many different schools that you want to see and want to apply to, but I know your time is precious and senior year is already stressful enough. So get organized, make a spreadsheet with all dates and deadlines that places need things in by, and find out who your point of contact is for all of these things. It'll help you in the long run and you'll definitely thank me later.
Yeah, jumping off of that, definitely the point of contact. Utilize your admissions counselors at the different universities that you're interested in. We are here to be your resource. It's literally our job to answer all of the questions that you have about our school. And if we don't know the answer, we'll connect you with somebody who does. So definitely keep in touch with us throughout the whole process.
I would say that you need to still have fun throughout this process and have fun for your senior year. So control what you can, okay? And what I mean when I say that is control when you're submitting your applications. Start them this summer, write that essay this summer, go through and do some of those different pieces, because when you start school again in the fall, your time's not always your own in the fall, right? And you still want to carve out time to have fun too. So control what you can and start this process early, submit those applications early and those non-binding early action filing dates, so that you can say, okay, step one, I've applied, I've done my part, I submitted all my stuff. Now I just need to wait to hear back from the school. So control what you can throughout this process.
I would say two things. Number one, a couple of other reps have mentioned, make sure you get in touch with your admissions counselor. But I would also say, try to reach out to current students at the universities that you're interested in. And if you can't figure out how to do that, ask your admissions counselor. We all have resources of students on campus who volunteer to work with potential students. And they're such a great resource for you. And number two, don't think that there's one university that's the only fit for you. And if you don't get in there, or if you're not able to afford it, that your life won't be the same. That's definitely not true. There are so many wonderful colleges and universities in this country. Definitely have a pretty wide range of ones that you would really like to go to, so that if one doesn't work out, you have another that you know would be a good fit for you.
I think my biggest advice would be to get everything done early. I think someone else said that as well. Like I said, East Stroudsburg, our application is already up on our website and live. A lot of schools are also going to be live this summer. So go ahead, get everything done as soon as possible. Another thing I would say is when you do campus tours, ask the students the questions that you want to know. A lot of times, communications from colleges, websites, photos might be deceiving. So if something is really important to you, ask the student tour guide how that is on their campus. They're going to be brutally honest, and they're going to be happy that you asked the question.
Excellent. Thank you all. Our next question is, what is your favorite event or tradition on campus?
So for us, we have this big field day for all of our students. So there's like slides and food trucks, cheesesteaks, water ice, all types of stuff. And it's like right after midterms and in the middle of the spring semester. And it's such a great chance for students to kind of like release and have a good time and have all these funds. And even with how COVID restrictions were, we even worked around that this year so students can have that amazing tradition, and we hope to keep it going.
I'm gonna come up with something I haven't said in another presentation before, just because it's kind of relevant right now. Our registration came out right before a move-in, so probably like the week or so before move-in each fall. We have an opportunity for students to do something called Trek. And there's 2 different treks, so you can do different like outdoor ones and go backpacking or kayaking and camping, like all these treks for the week, or you can do a service track and like volunteer in the area. So there's a lot of different things to do like that. It's definitely competitive to get on there as soon as the registration opens and apply for it, but it's definitely a really cool opportunity. And I wish my college had something like that when I went to school.
For the University of Mary Washington, my favorite traditional event as an alum of the university as well is an event we call Double Goat Day, which happens the last Thursday of classes in the spring semester. It too is like a field day with snacks and foods and events and things like that, but it's also a competition between the classes, hence the doubles and the goats. If you are a even year graduate, you are a goat. And if you are an odd year graduate, you are a devil. And you compete in different events throughout that afternoon to see who wins bragging rights for the next year. And even with COVID, this was something that we were able to hold in 2020 in a virtual space, and in 2021 reimagined it with things that were appropriate social distance, with like scavenger hunts and things like that throughout campus on that day. Or actually, we turned it into a whole week. So Devil Goat Day is my favorite, and I'm a goat, by the way.
My favorite campus tradition at Michigan State University, if you've ever watched a basketball game that happens on our campus in the Breslin Center, you've probably noticed the student section, which is called the Izzone, named after our coach, Tom Izzo. And there's a pretty great tradition. If you want tickets to sit in the Izzone, you have to do the Izzone camp out. So students line up, spend the night outside, waiting in line to get their tickets for the Izzone. But Tom Izzo and the basketball team come out and bring pizza and meet with the students and talk to them. And it's just really fun and exciting. And that's your way to earn your spot in the Izzone.
One of the best events I have seen at East Stroudsburg is definitely going to be our homecoming weekend. It is very intense. We have alumni coming up. All faculty are involved. We actually rent out carnival stuff. So we'll have a Ferris wheel on campus, different carnival games. We have a bonfire during the night that we crown the king and queen of ESU. We have a huge bonfire, silent disco dances, 5K races. So it's the most fun activity because the whole campus community is having so much fun together. Everyone from current freshmen to alumni who graduated, 60 years ago. So it's definitely the best event.
Awesome. And our final question is, if you all could give an interesting or fun fact about your school.
So my fun fact about Arcadia would be we actually have a crime scene investigation house where we do like forensic testing and things of all that nature, and we hold like random classes for the entire Montgomery County that we're surrounded by. It's like one of the coolest hidden gems that I don't think we talk about enough at our school.
Environmentalism, sustainability, all of that's really big at the University of Vermont, so our reputation kind of precedes us there. But we were one of the first colleges to ban the sale of bottled water on campus. So if you ever come to visit, make sure you bring your unrefillable bottle because you won't be able to buy any bottled water on campus.
At the University of Mary Washington, my fun fact is that while we are named after George Washington's mother, she is a prominent figure in the Fredericksburg area. So she raised George Washington across the river at Ferry Farm, which is just over the Rappahannock River away from campus. And she lived downtown as well as George Washington's sister. So Mary Washington is our founding father's mother, not his wife. People confuse that all the time. That's Martha.
A fun fact about Michigan State is that the student chosen to portray Sparty, our mascot, has to keep it a secret. They're not even allowed to let their roommate know. So no one on campus knows who Sparty is until the end of that school year when they reveal themselves.
So I have two I can't pick. So one fun fact is we have a 3D Stratus printing on campus. There's only 3 schools that have it in the nation, and we have one of them. So 3D printing is becoming really, really big at East Stroudsburg. A lot of students will add that as a minor, anywhere from exercise science students, obviously, to art. And my second fun fact is our alumni are all working in awesome places. But the coolest alumni, I think, is the guy who invented Philly Pretzel Company, started it at ESU. And also the football coach of Penn State is an ESU alum as well.
Excellent. Thank you all so much. So we are wrapping up this session. And I want to say thank you to our panelists for spending some time with us and the information that you shared. And thank you to all of our attendees for joining. We have a quick survey when the Zoom window closes and do appreciate your feedback. Just a reminder, there are additional sessions that are taking place as part of this college fair in the next hour. So please do sign up for those. And you'll be able to find a recording of this session and others online at strivescan.com/Pennsylvania. Thank you all so much and have a great rest of your evenings.